Last year's Stanley Cup Final, Bobrovsky allowed a whopping 21 goals in 5 games. In the first 2 games of this Stanley Cup Final, he surrendered just 1 goal on 51 shots. He's back on the case. Game 3, as I mentioned, Thursday in Edmonton. You know, Edmonton has not lost 3 games since February. I wonder, I'm very curious about this because I know CJ had a chance to say Bobrovsky and Ryan had a chance to say Bobrovsky. I mean, I wonder if Craig Butt, my good friend, who's now joining us in studio, might want to take a crack at it.
No, I can't. I cannot imitate the master. I can't do better than the master, so I'm not going to try.
That's fair. I appreciate that. Things that you go into the third period, you're tied at 1 with the Florida Panthers. It just unravels. How did it unravel, Craig?
Well, the Florida Panthers do not make mistakes for the most part. So you know you're going to be playing the game in real tight margins. And certainly you got to understand that when you're in those areas, you can't give your opponent anything for free. And the Edmonton Oilers gave 2 for free. And you know, you talk about the eventual game-winning goal. It's a giveaway at the blue line. And then after that, the very reliable stick of Evan Bouchard lets him down here. And he just puts it right back on the stick of Evan Rodriguez. And that ends up being the winning goal. You don't see that. And then Leon Draisaitl in the third period, I mean, that's a check to the head. They called it roughing. It should have been an elbow. Bottom line is that Leon Draisaitl now sitting in the penalty box, and there's the power play goal for the Florida Panthers. It essentially sealed it for them. So Evan Bouchard, who starred for the Oilers, Draisaitl, who stars for the Oilers, you know, make 2 massive blunders at inopportune times. And you don't have to give the Florida Panthers those types of opportunities because more times than not, they know how to take advantage because they're not giving you opportunities like that.
Well, to your point, Edmonton just 19 shots in this one. This is the highest scoring team in the NHL. Why are they having such a hard time scoring?
1, 2, 3, 4. That's the last 4 periods for the Edmonton Oilers. The third period in game 1 and the first 3, the 3 periods in game 2, there's no traction. They're not getting any traction. They're not able to push the Florida Panthers back. The Florida Panthers have a great forecheck. We know they have a great forecheck, but they also reload through the neutral zone. And now they close you off. So there's no real opportunity for you to be able to have a thrust, to be able to have a push. And when you're able to step up like the Florida Panthers are, and you're not able to get them backed up, you're not going to generate offense. It's as simple as that. And one of the things that I think the Edmonton Oilers have to do is they've got to make those defensemen turn. Just sometimes the play doesn't have to be clean with the puck. Sometimes you just take it, chip it, chip it, chip it, chip it. Keep making the defensemen turn for the Florida Panthers. Because if they're not turning, that means they're playing on their toes. And when they're playing on their toes, they're playing to their strengths. And now you cannot even muster up an attack. And now you got to get back in your own zone and defend. So when you watch how the Edmonton Oilers in periods 1 and 2 of game 1, they moved the puck quickly, they stretched the ice. Well, they weren't able to stretch the ice in this game because the ice was shrunk. The Florida Panthers took that away. So you got to find different ways to get them back. And if you don't find traction in your game and you allow your opponent, in this case the Florida Panthers, to get traction, you're going to run up to exactly what the Edmonton Oilers found in Game 3.
Well, in
Game 2, excuse me.
At the very least with Edmonton, when they're in these situations, you can usually rely on the power play, one of the best in the league. It's been that way for the last couple of seasons. 0 for 7 in the first 2 games of this series. Why? Is it something Edmonton's doing, not doing, or is it just what Florida's doing?
Okay, so before I get to that, though, okay, so the last 4 games, the Edmonton Oilers have scored exactly 1 5-on-5 goal. The goal they scored in this one was a 4-on-4 goal. Mm-hmm. When you're starting to turn to find your power play to score on you, when you're not having any success 5-on-5, you're in bigger trouble than you think. And we just talked about the challenges ahead. Hey, listen, Bobrovsky was outstanding in game 1, certainly in the first 2 periods. But in this game, the power play, the first 2 power plays had never had a shot on goal. And you look at the way the Florida Panthers kill penalties. They deny zone entries. Then they're quick to be able to get to the puck. Their positioning is outstanding. They know where to bump the puck. They know where to intercept it. And if you're not going to be able to direct the puck towards the net, you're going to try to make those lateral plays. You're going to try to have one player beat 2 guys. You're not going to have any success. My suggestion is the Edmonton Oilers are going to have to change that power play a little bit, shoot off the pass, get the puck to the net, turn the defenders around, and then try to get them uncomfortable trying to defend for loose pucks in front of the net. The way the Edmonton Oilers are playing right now, McDavid's spinning and trying to find open lanes. He's not able to do that. And they're playing into the teeth of a very good penalty kill. So don't play into the teeth of it. Try to change it around. Make them try to fish pucks out of their feet in and around the net. I think that they can at least get the Florida Panthers uncomfortable. But they better find their 5-on-5 game, Jay.
Right.
Because in this game, they had 3 forwards with a shot on goal. McDavid had 3, Draisaitl had 2, and Hyman had 1. The rest of the forwards, big fat 0. That's not going to get it done. And when you only have 1 5-on-5 goal in your last 12 periods, that's not going to get it done either.
So I like that. Good positive suggestion of how to improve for Game 3. Give us a couple of other things Edmonton needs to do, having seen how they played in the first 2 games as they head home for Game 3 on Thursday.
Well, the first thing you have to do, I thought in periods 1 and 2 of Game 1, they did a really nice job of moving the puck quickly out of their zone and then being able to use some speed to be able to attack on the Florida Panthers. And they had some really good opportunities. You're not going to get the same type of space because what the Florida Panthers are doing now is they're staying up on the play. They're playing on their toes. And the way you get a team to play on their heels is to get the puck behind them. They're going to have to find a way to make sure that they get the puck behind those defenders and at least make Florida have to go further up the ice. When they're able to just turn the puck over from the neutral zone back into the offensive zone, you're going to get a lot of frustration. The other thing that I think they have to do, Connor McDavid talked about this a little bit, loose puck battles. Florida's seemed to be winning all the loose puck battles. They're going to have to do a better job of engaging on those loose puck battles and really get after it. That's where, as you think about the 4th goal, Sam Bennett says, I'm not losing this puck battle. Simple as that. There's too many of those that the Edmonton Oilers, people say 50-50 pucks. I call them contested pucks. The Edmonton Oilers didn't win very many of them. If you're not winning contested pucks, you're not winning hockey games. And the crowd's going to help them a little.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Do you believe, that they can come back and actually win on Thursday after what you've seen the first couple of games?
I believe that an extra day off is going to really benefit the Edmonton Oilers. First of all, you just you're kind of, okay, relax. You kind of get mentally refreshed.
Yeah.
And then it gives the coaching staff a chance to look at the tape and come up with some solutions for the team. You don't have to day off and then play right away. You kind of get that refresher.
Yeah.
Then you kind of come back and here's what we got to do, and then you play. I think that can benefit the Oilers right now. I think it's critical now for the Oilers to benefit from that extra day off, and I think that could help them. I mean, the crowd is great in Edmonton, and certainly the Oilers fans will get right behind. The Oilers are going to need every little bit of advantage that they can muster up, because if they don't win Game 3, this thing's good as over.
Well, I have some good news for all the Oilers fans, Craig, and this comes from our stats guy, Hound Dog Harrison. Teams that go up 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Final only win the Stanley Cup 91% of the time. So there's a 9% chance that Edmonton could win this thing.